There's something funny about wood turning. Every species kind of has its own personality. I've talked a lot about walnut on this channel. I love it. It feels steady and dependable. It's the kind of wood that I just love to turn. It's rich and has an amazing scent all its own. I've talked about hickory and red oak, and they both feel like you're negotiating with a linebacker. They're hard, but in the end they come out beautiful. Curly maple, well, it likes to pretend it's innocent right up to the moment that it tears out spectacularly. That's kind of the pieces I've been turning lately. And then I was gifted these logs of cedar and I've been trying to make the most of it. And I'm learning things. I'm learning that cedar almost tricks you. Because it is so light and soft and pleasant, you think, "Oh, this is going to be easy." Then about 10 minutes later, you're standing in the shop, staring at a chunk of exploded wood, wondering if trees actually hold grudges. But I'll be honest, there are few woods that I love to turn, and I have begun to fall in love with cedar. I don't really know exactly why. Maybe there's something calming about it. Maybe it's the smell. Maybe it's because it reminds me of people. Maybe because it reminds me of hope chests and old churches. Cedar has character. And honestly, I think we're drawn to things with character because people have character as well. Scars, grains, patterns, knots here and there, weak spots, unexpected beauty. Most of us are less polished than we pretend to be. You know, there's an old saying, the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray. Which, for me, basically means you have a good plan and life can still laugh at you. Scripture says similar things, sometimes cynical, but not really hopeless, but it does give us a deeply human way to look at life. The book of Proverbs says, the heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. The Apostle James says not to boast too confidently about tomorrow, and I don't think those verses exist to discourage our planning. I do think planning matters. Preparation is important. Planning matters. Preparation matters. Discipline matters. I do believe that God honors thoughtful work, but I also think Scripture reminds us that control is mostly an illusion. You can prepare, you can work hard, you can even make wise decisions, but life can still hand you something completely unexpected. Sometimes beautiful, other times painful, sometimes absurd, but almost always there's an expense involved. Woodworking has become a strange little laboratory for learning that lesson to me over and over again. So this bowl here is actually me adapting. Instead of trying to wrestle a big heavy blank, I decided to go smaller. And honestly, I think I enjoy making these more. There's something satisfying about making a small, tiny bowl. They feel a little more personal. It doesn't take as much time, but I do feel more connected with these smaller bowls than I do with the bigger projects. Not everything has to be massive, to really matter. There's another lie that we absorb somewhere along the way, having a big platform or big successes, being a big influencer, having a big accomplishment that proves our worth. But I think sometimes the best moments in life are tiny. Morning coffee before the house wakes up, a quiet conversation with somebody you care about, a text from somebody just checking in, a simple meal with people you love. These tiny things hold entire worlds sometimes. Maybe that's why I like these smaller pieces. There's no pretension in them. This bowl isn't trying to become a museum piece of art. It's just becoming a good little bowl.